We start with the highlighted anime for the spring season of 2024. Beginning with a few titles, I've watched at least 15 anime episodes so far this season. And for now, these are the ones I can highlight from the list I've seen. I still need to catch up, so if you want to suggest one for me to watch, leave it in the comments. Here we go. We start with an isekai with similarities to Tensura, but with very different narrative divisions. The anime Monster tells the story of a young man who is murdered by a girl and ends up reincarnating into a goblin. The series shows each day from Gaburo's birth and his evolution, discovering that he can feed and level up quickly, and the only one with the ability to hear and see a master being who shows him how to level up and acquire special abilities with each monster he annihilates, until he becomes an ogre capable of mastering powerful magic and leading his own pack within a few days of being born. His goal is to make the most of his new life and live to the fullest until the end, seeking to understand the new world around him, with creatures, plants, and civilizations completely unknown to him. It premiered with dubbing simultaneously as the Japanese version. And the only thing I noticed is that in the detailed shots of the landscapes and objects, they appear somewhat pixelated on purpose. Other than that, the art and soundtrack are acceptable. It's one of the more varied anime of the season. If you're looking for an anime similar to Tokyo Revengers, Windbreaker is an option you can consider, but without time travel. This series changes the script by portraying delinquent students as the heroes of their city, united to clean up the city from violent gangs that plague the neighborhood. The story follows Haruka Sakura, a new student at Furin High School, famous for its delinquent population. Haruka's only goal is to prove his strength and face alone those he considers worthy opponents. Windbreaker's story prioritizes exceptional animation and exciting fight sequences that undoubtedly contribute significantly to the story. Haruka's challenges in Windbreaker focus more on his psychological well-being. He has always been an outcast, ridiculed for his violent behavior and unusual appearance, leading him to automatically assume that people hate him even before interacting with them. The series doesn't talk about powers or anything related, but rather about the strength and will of each individual, promising to show us constant confrontations and small touches of comedy. The series is in its original language with subtitles. Now we move on to a series that has elements of comedy, investigation, and supernatural. The first episode seemed interesting to me. However, the series' introduction caught me, as well as its ending. In a city where mysterious incidents occur one after another, a demonic being faces the challenge of solving them. Sumireko, an apparently simple store clerk, aspires to become a novelist and has an attractive appearance that attracts ardent admirers. One of them, Adashino, seems to be an ordinary young man who works in a bookstore. However, his aura is shrouded in mystery until the path of challenges he and his sister must overcome in the city to find their way back home beyond this world is revealed. Thus begins a story of modern mysteries and romantic aspirations in the bustling metropolis. The episode takes us through Sumi's journey and how someone wishes to achieve their dream at all costs, to become a successful novelist despite all the failures they have had. It is a series that undoubtedly presents itself interestingly from the first episode and has the potential to be a mystery work to enjoy. However, we have to wait to see what the end of the season has in store. Now we go with a work that mixes fantasy, thriller, and drama. The Grimm Variations is an original work from Wit Studio in co-production with Netflix of 6 episodes, each 45 minutes long, that tells the stories of the brothers Grimm fairy tales. Yes, those same ones that Disney took to represent their animated stories. This anime tells the stories from another perspective, reimagining some of the brothers' tales like Cinderella and Little Red Riding Hood, taking the tales as a free interpretation to use metaphors within the stories told, taking different genres to adapt them. The series bursts these stories to show even darker alternatives than the original tales. If you're familiar with the brothers Grimm's tales, this story will catch your attention. Also, the soundtrack and changes in art styles are fundamental. We see a non-linear watercolor style when the brothers converse and introduce and close each episode, and then it changes to a more stylized and detailed animation and art. One of the most anticipated adaptations in the past year is the adaptation of Kaijuu number 8, a series that started strong, presenting a world with the great problem of the presence of kaijus that come to wreak havoc on the human world. Our young protagonist, named Kafka, works in the area of sample collection and kaiju waste cleaning after the defense squadron takes care of the annihilation. In his quest to try to give up on his desire to be in a squadron, he settles for cleaning up the remains until a young apprentice begins to motivate him again, but they are attacked by a terrible kaiju, both coming out injured. However, Kafka is bitten by a kaiju, and in the infirmary, he is presented with a small, insect-like kaiju entering his body and turning him into a humanoid, retaining his consciousness, but with the physique of a creature. Now he must lead a double life, facing kaijus and avoiding being discovered that he is also one. The series has first-class animation, an unprecedented soundtrack, and a vibe similar to a Godzilla series. The dubbing is also simultaneous, so we can enjoy both the dubbing and the original language on the same day of the episode's release. Besides, the anime has its touch of comedy, action, and mystery. Now I'll mention one of the anime that I didn't expect and gave me a great surprise. Viral Hit is a story that comes from a manhwa and has been adapted into an anime version. The story may seem absurd but very real and with very original characters. The plot revolves around a boy who is beaten, humiliated, and violated by others, being the punching bag, to popularize content on a platform called YouTube, and it allows you to monetize in a very absurd way if you become incredibly viral. Our protagonist ends up in an embarrassing situation with whom he ended up exploding and hitting with noodles, but the event ended up recorded and posted online without them realizing it, and it became a hit. Now his goal is to be a YouTuber and earn as much money as possible. I didn't have much hope for it, but it's a drama with a lot of very interesting comedy to watch. We'll enjoy a story where people will do anything to make money through social media. Now we move on to the anime that continues. I'll only mention some of the ones I've had the opportunity to enjoy in this spring season, so I won't focus so much on it. Mushoku Tensei Part 2. The second season continues right after Rudeus' declaration with Sylphie about their engagement. Returning again to the events within the magic school, the animation remains the same quality as the previous block, without much action and only situations like a slice of life. Nothing relevant so far about the second part of the second season of the anime, and the first episodes only lead us to the preparation of the next step our two protagonists will take. My Hero Academia 7. The season begins with some strength, with the start of what initiates the world hero, war against Shigaraki in My Hero Academia, and how the will of those Deku wishes to protect rises to the highest level. The series maintains all the elements of the previous seasons, so I wouldn't have anything to highlight other than enjoying the 7th season of the anime. Now, one of the most resulting of those who returned with a new season has been Black Butler, with a season that promises to wrap us in this world with Victorian touches of dark novel and mystery. A plot that takes Ciel and Sebastian to one of Europe's most prestigious schools. The anime is in charge of a new animation studio, passing into the hands of Clover Walks. We've reached the end of this video. I still have titles and contents to watch, so I'll have my definitive list by the end of the season. I still have to catch up with Demon Slayer and Konosuba and Tensura. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell. See you in the next video.